Recently, on social media, I have noticed a new trend about making 2026 feel like 2016. Yeah, 2016 was a decade ago, which makes me feel kind of old. I don't even know exactly where this trend came from or what started it. It doesn't really matter. If you think about it, 2016 was one of the last moments when the internet felt shared. Today, everything is optimized for your personal preferences, AI is preparing content to consume for you. As a result, we are all slowly getting separated. Everyone lives in their own version of the internet. Even though I was just a teenager back in 2016, I can still clearly say life and internet felt much simpler back then. And that's exactly why I want to talk about what made that time feel different. One of the biggest differences I feel today is how divided everything has become. With all the technological improvements, it feels like people are closing themselves off from each other. A perfect example is any public space, on public transport, at the gym, in cafes or shopping malls. People just sit on their phones even when they have nothing pressing to do. Back in the past, when someone moved into a new block of flats or a neighborhood, they would naturally integrate with neighbors. Nowadays, there are so many cases where people don't even know the name of a person living next door. It's like a new kind of introversion has taken over. However, when I see some TikToks videos designed to motivate you to stay logged in and build a business, one of the core messages is clear. Don't waste time on unnecessary meetings. Just focus on work, working out, eating healthy, and repeating the cycle. Social life almost doesn't exist anymore. It's like you are supposed to forget about connecting with people. Have you seen in 2016 any trends just to log in and forget about anyone? I don't think so. Nowadays, this kind of lifestyle has also created some new social pressures and stereotypes. Women are often asked about their requirements for a partner, and many answer that he needs to have a flat, car and a high salary. On the other hand, men feel like they have to meet these expectations first before even initiating a relationship or trying to connect. It's like both sides are caught in this cycle of pressure instead of just getting to know each other. I also really miss YouTube from 2016. Back then, content creators made videos mainly out of passion, not for monetization. There weren't so many edits, and if someone added transitions, music or close-ups, people would treat it like, wow, this person is really putting effort into making the viewing experience better. Overall, the experience of watching videos was much more enjoyable. I really liked that raw style, where creators had to have enough charisma to hold the viewer's attention. The videos were longer and you could really feel what the creator wanted to say. Nowadays, videos are completely different. There are edits every few seconds, extra subtitles and flashy effects, like in MrBeast's videos, which had a huge influence on this style of content. This kind of format strongly boosts our dopamine levels, and over time it can become addictive. Eventually, we got used to this constant stimulation, and we start scrolling TikTok or short videos just to get another quick dopamine hit. Gaming has also changed, maybe not so much in single-player games, but especially in multiplayer. Back then, multiplayer games felt like a place where you could just chill out and escape reality for a while. Of course, competitive play always existed, but it wasn't dominating everything. Today, competition has evolved to a much higher level, and now it feels like everyone is constantly trying to be better than everyone else. I think Counter-Strike is one of the best examples of this change. Back in the Counter-Strike Go, knowing smokes, lineups was something you usually saw at the highest rank. Most people just joined the queue and played. Now, in CS2, the overall skill level has increased so much that knowing lineups feels like the minimum requirement just to win. Seriously, on medium skill elo, people actually play like pro players back then. Many players warm up before every match, practice aim routines, study strategies, and their mechanics are incredibly solid. Even games, something that used to be a pure entertainment, have turned into another place where you have to perform, improve and compete. Back in 2016, gaming felt lighter, less stressful, more about having fun than proving something, and I think that's what many of us miss. I also think a lot about how apps used to bring people together a decade ago. A perfect example is Pokémon Go. When Pokémon Go was released, people actually went outside and this hype was really huge. I remember whenever I left home to catch some Pokémons, I really often got to know new people, and I have a lot of personal stories with this game which I really like to look back at it. You even didn't need an introduction, you already had something in common. You could start a conversation just by asking, "Is there something spawning here, or is it your lure? I can start the next one." However, even I couldn't find any interesting thing to do with my friends. I told them to catch some Pokemons, and we were all taking our bikes and meeting at the spot. Then there was a Snapchat. You sent random photos, you replied to stories, you talked a lot. There was no pressure to look perfect. Snaps disappeared after a few seconds, so you didn't overthink them. It felt private, casual and human. Instagram, on the other hand, felt different from what is today. It was more about sharing moments, not building a brand. Photos didn't have to be perfect. Today, Instagram feels much more commercial. Everything is optimized, ads, promotions, influencer, reach. It feels less like a place for fun and more like a marketplace. And somewhere along the way, we lost the simplicity. Apps stopped being tools for connection and started becoming tools for performance. In 2016, technology was helping us meet people. Today, it replaced them. So, in summary, I really hope that 2026 can feel a little bit like 2016. Of course, we can't back every change. We can't make games less competitive, and we can't bring back the simplicity of YouTube exactly as it was. But what we can do is bring back the human connection. I would like to see people talking to each other more, sharing moments without worrying about likes or views, meeting new people in real life and supporting each other in small everyday ways. Back then, life felt simpler in many ways, and now with constant news, social pressure and endless scrolling, it's easy to forget what really matters. So maybe making 2026 feel like 2016 isn't about going backwards. It's about taking the good parts of the past, the moments of real connection, fun, human interaction, and bringing them into our modern lives. That's something we can do.